What's up YouTube, KidMoto22 here, and today I want to talk to you about an article I read in Cycle World where they compared the 2021 Harley Heritage 114 Classic to the 2022 Indian Super Chief Limited 116. So let's get to it. Welcome back YouTube, KidMoto22 here, and if you saw my intro, I want to talk to you guys today about an article I read in Cycle World where they compared the Harley Heritage 114 2021 to the 2022 Indian Super Chief Limited 116. So the comparison is amazingly interesting to me, and to me it tells a pretty interesting story. So first, they did an engine comparison, and I'm not going to go through all of the things that they did in the article and talk about every category. That would make for a very long video. But I'm just going to talk about some things that highlighted it to me and really pointed out some things that are pretty evident in what I see right now going on between Harley and Indian. So the first thing was they did an engine comparison. So they put both bikes on a dyno and they tested them. And I'll put the results right up here, and you guys can take a look at that on the screen. These engine comparisons are amazing. They're amazing in how similar they actually are. Where we like to say that Indian's being innovative, it seems to me that Harley's doing it first and Indian seems to be copying. Again, let's make this a reminder that they're comparing the Harley 2021 Heritage to a 2022 Indian. And it's amazing how similar these dyno numbers are, right? I mean, they both almost follow the exact same torque curve, the exact same power curve. It's pretty amazing what you're seeing out of these two bikes being how similar they actually are. The next comparison that I want to talk about is the clutch and throttle response. They're saying in this article that this is truly Harley's greatest strength. In terms of the Heritage model, that it's the most consistent, the throttle response would be what you'd expect, the clutch is easy to operate, all of these things being true, while they're saying in the Indian Super Chief, this is one of their greatest weaknesses, that there is this delay in the throttle response on the Super Chief that the Heritage just doesn't display. And then they also say that this delay is evident in different parts of the power band. So you can even see it between the 30 and 60 mile per hour mark, that there's this delay in the power delivery. While, you know, the dyno numbers show this consistency between the two bikes, there's this evident delay that can be felt when you're riding it. The next area I want to talk about is fit and finish. This is one thing I've always said that Harley has excelled at in many categories on many bikes. Even when I compared a Sportster to their bobber model, this was a comparison that I found to be accurate even now with the Heritage and the Super Chief, right? So they're saying that Harley's fit and finish is exactly what you'd expect. It's a refined fit and finish. The controls are where they should be. The wires are hidden and you know, kind of tucked away like they should be. While in the Super Chief, it looks great from far away. As you get closer and you start to more closely examine it, there's wires kind of hanging out, dangling. They don't appear to be tucked like they should be. It's just not as refined. It's like they didn't finish it. They didn't put in the time that they needed to in the fit and finish. And I said the same thing with pretty much the entire hand controls when I compared a Sportster to a bobber. These things are all true. So it's just an interesting thing for me. The next thing that I want to compare is the price. The Heritage comes in, and when they did this article, now keep in mind this article came out in the summer, last summer, 2021, July of 2021, I believe is when this article came out. So we all know that things have changed with the price of motorcycles since then. But when they did this, the price was, the Heritage came in at $20,849, and the Super Chief came in at $21,499. So the Super Chief was a little bit more expensive. Now it's a year newer model, right? So we would expect things to have gone up a little bit in prices, but when we compare these models and how similar they are, you'd think that traditionally the Indian would come out underpriced. It's not. It's a little bit over in the price range. So the reason why this whole article was interesting to me is that we like to make these comparisons that Indian is doing things that Harley's not, and they're being more innovative. I will give Indian credit. They are being more innovative in some areas. The FTR was an innovative motorcycle, right? The Challenger is an innovative motorcycle. However, when you go to fit and finish of those, again, they're lacking. Now, maybe not so much in the FTR. That bike was pretty refined right off the line. So I don't know if that's a really fair comparison. And Harley really didn't have anything to really compare or compete with that bike. That's really kind of a naked bike. And that might be where Harley's Bronx would come in. But the Challenger, however, it really was a more kind of refined bagger with the adjustable windshield, with the automatic locking cases, the monoshock design, the inverted forks, giving it more of a performance stance and a performance feel, and really out of the gate, when you compare it to Harley's Road Glide and you put them stock for stock, the Challenger performs better, and some would argue is a better motorcycle. Me being a Harley fan, I go back to fit and finish, whether it is considered better. I would say it's probably better performing, but maybe not better looking and better in the fit and finish. So that's a give and take depending on how you look at it. But again, we're really talking about the Heritage and the Indian Super Chief here. So at the end of the day, you have two motorcycles that are nearly identical with the Heritage and the Super Chief. However, this is what I would say. Harley did it first. The Heritage has been around for a long time, hence the name Heritage. And now they've added this kind of performance aspect to it, being kind of a all-in motorcycle. I call the Heritage an all-in motorcycle because it's really a touring. It can be used as a touring bike, but it's on the smaller chassis, so it's easier to flick around. It's lighter than the touring models, even the Road King Special that I have. So the Heritage kind of can do all the things that a touring model can. It's just in a smaller platform, so it makes it a little bit easier to handle, and it's much lighter. Harley did it before the Indian Super Chief. Indian had an opportunity to put out this Super Chief and really blow the Heritage out of the water, because the Heritage was a bike that was already out in the market. But instead, Indian puts out a motorcycle that's nearly identical to the Heritage in every way. And at the end of the article, basically Cycle World says, the reigning champ still is the reigning champ. The Super Chief doesn't beat out the Heritage. And again, these aren't my words. I have fully confessed to be a Harley fanboy. This is what this article did in the head-to-head comparison. And you can go down and look at a lot of the other technical aspects that they add, where the Indian Super Chief, does do some things well, and maybe the Heritage doesn't do some things well. But even in engine performance, when you look at the quarter-mile mark, the Heritage was faster at a shorter time. So it's just interesting that we make these comparisons and we say that Indian is being innovative, when really in a lot of aspects they're not. They're just kind of copying what Harley's already done. So again, and I'm not throwing Indian under the bus, because I think Indian's doing a great thing. And if you've seen the best thing to happen to Harley is Indian video, and I'll put a link for that right up here, I say full on that having Indian in the marketplace as another American-made motorcycle is great, because it's pushing both companies forward. But we always need to remember that this is not the Indian that was out when Harley first hit the market and Indian first hit the market. It's not the same company. Brick and mortar for Indian is gone. It's Indian in namesake, but it's owned by Polaris, and Harley is the same company. They changed hands with AMF. We all know that. But so I find this to be very interesting. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't give Indian credit for being innovative, because they absolutely are. But let's not push that, they're being the most innovative when they release a motorcycle a year later than Harley did, and they're saying it's their, a flagship platform in this market space, and it's really a carbon copy of the Heritage. but it doesn't do it as well and it's more expensive. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments below. That's what I have for you guys today. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. I'll put a link to another video that you might like over here or over here. And if you want to subscribe, again, you can hit the subscribe button over here or over here. And again, that's what I have for you guys today. This is Kid Moto. I'm out.